they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
Yes, everybody. Russ and the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It's that Monday morning feeling or Monday afternoon feeling for me. Anyway, hope you are all well and in reasonably high spirits following yesterday's game. I thought it was a very good game. I thought it was first 20 minutes. Obviously, you knew Leeds were going to come out and try and press, and to be fair, they did score the first goal, but I thought from then on, I thought we pretty much dominated the game, and I didn't really think we were going to lose the game. If that made sense. So, oh my God, the worst would have been a draw, but I thought it was actually a relatively comfortable game. Really, it was surprising me actually the lack of fight on the Leeds side. I thought, particularly a big fat Sam side, you thought there would have been a bit more oomph about it, but there wasn't, and it was really slightly. Just really interesting about that. I thought they'd really sort of go for it. I thought lots of high press. They'd, and they seemed to sort of get the goal and decided that's it. I'm done. And it just wasn't great on their side. We get to the legendary 40 points, which is fantastic. And the option of maybe 43, and if we turn over Leicester about 15-0 or something like that, and Chelsea lose, we could overtake Chelsea in the last game of the season. Anyway, and then obviously we've got a little game the following Wednesday, just a little one. Let's see, we've got in the chat. We've got Michael. Hope you are well. Is Savaloy? I see you for trying to blame West Ham players for starting the trouble and looking to ban foreign players after the final. For me, I honestly, from a not objective view, but from UEFA's view, I know what happened was awful, but for me, it was they have to be seen to do something, because regardless, I mean, it's we can go back. There's been presidents before. I think Eric Dyer, wasn't it, Spurs, went in and actually had a go at. And picked a fight with someone who was slagging his family off, and people like things like that. So, and irrespective of the player, I mean, the club can't do anything about the players on the pitch. But even when there's like 5 or 6 or 8, yellow cards, they'll get done for not controlling their players. And even before, I mean, we've had a 20 grand fine when we threw a sandwich onto the pitch for the Larnaca goalkeeper. And that was just a bit of like high jinx with the goalkeeper, and it cost us 20 grand. So if they can do it for a sandwich, you can just imagine what they can do with something like this. I think if obviously it for me, it wouldn't affect the final. It could affect the first game or first couple of games maybe next season. But I think it's gonna be a fine really if anything happens. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because obviously they know they effed up. So but they have to sort of be seen to punish. But because by all accounts after the game, they sort of said, "Yeah, sorry, yeah," they were sort of, off you go. Don't worry about doing this and this and this. They didn't do as many of the obligatory interviews in the tunnel afterwards and things like that. So they knew there was an issue. That an issue had been something had happened. So. It's almost like they're backtracking a little bit. But anyway, afternoon, Cyril. Hope you are well. Cloudy and chilly in St Ives. Russ, top draw from us yesterday. It was indeed, Andy. Nice to hear from you, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, it's grey in here, but on Thursday, when I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again. Monday the 5th. It's like 40 degrees at the moment. Can't wait. And hopefully, if we do if Anton does a watch along for the Leicester game, I'll try and live link from the Dubai Hammers, because that's where I'm going to be watching the Leicester game, which I'm really looking forward to. Russ was waiting to tell you, I heard you over the game playing your tunes. Cotton Eye Joe, indeed. Yep. We kept it all until, people were like, oh, play Cotton Eye Joe, play this, play that. No, let's just get the game out of the way, and then we can have a bit of a piss take. And we played, obviously, Free From Desire, And obviously Danny was there with like a bump, and literally she looks like she's going to explode. She looks like she hasn't. She's got two babies, but it looks so big. It looks unreal, her stomach. And so, yeah, that was good fun. It was good fun. Afternoon, Frim. I hope you're well. Still feeling. Check on Chef. Hope you're well, my friend. I better say it now, otherwise you could tell me I was wrong. Leeds fans absolutely disgusted. Yeah, it was. I mean, there's a great channel called Fan Channels Reaction, and they always pick Anton or me, for one of the react. And the Leeds ones was really interesting. The worst team I've seen at LS this season. Do you know what? I think Forest were pretty bad as well. And I know we turned them over 4-0, but it was a pretty bad, shocking game across the board. And we played Larnaca indeed. They should go after. They will do. They will do. They will do. But don't forget, lads, we've got done before. Don't forget, we got done. Do you remember last season, a lot of those games where it was all kicked off a little bit, Vienna and whatnot, we get fined because it's in our ground, so they'll get fined. They'll get some sort of something put against them. But was it the FC Bucharest? Was it FC? No. Was it? No, it wasn't. We weren't allowed not in the game or something. But one of them were, and so it never works out. Never works out. Anyway, I think Drain Hole, happy well players getting banned for ridiculous. Pac-Man's performance was something else. Can't have him banned for the final. I don't know. Nothing for them. We could have a hat fault. Yes, we could have, yeah, you said you're totally right. If people weren't, yeah, why were we so generous yesterday? Why are we setting up so many? Everything was just so. Everyone was being sort of really nice to each other, so that usually we sort of we don't pass, but it just seemed we wanted to pass all the time yesterday. And as you said, we could have had a cricket score. Realistically, we could have. It could have been 6 or 7 easily. And that's not a cricket score, but you know what I mean. Greetings from New Hampshire. Hope you're well, Brian. Nice to see you. I'm buzzing today. Nice to see it. I've heard the security Outmar were all volunteers. How ridiculous. Speaking of Outmar, tonight, 9 p.m., we've got him on the channel. We've got Nosy. We've got Nosy. We've got Nosy. Nosy's on the channel tonight, live, 9 p.m. with Anton talking about West Ham, talking about his love of West Ham. Obviously, I've been a fan for many, many years, but also talking about Thursday, talking about the truth, what happened. So keep an eye out. It's on the channel. So if you're not subscribed already, subscribe, hit the reminder. I think it's 9 o'clock. Anton's doing it. It's going to be a really good chat with Nosy. So make sure you check it out. Obviously, he's the man, the myth, the legend. Find out about him in a lot more detail. And from the horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth. And remind you, I do need to post his shirt, because we know where he lives now. That sounds really. The last person I want to say is I know where you live to Nosy. Christ. I have a question. Who or what turned old Hernandez into prime Messi? Yeah, he played very well yesterday. He did. He needs a ticket to the final. Yeah, he does. But unfortunately, I think it's a bit. Unfortunately, Michael, in all honesty, every man for himself and every woman for themselves when it comes to the tickets, it seems. Although it does seem that we've been allocated. John Thompson was telling me yesterday another 1,500 tickets, 1,000 tickets, something like that. So I think we're about 5,800 tickets now, which is fantastic if that's the case. It's a little bit better. It's not 100% better, but it's a little bit better. 25% better. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, it was the talk of the stadium yesterday, wasn't it? In terms of getting a ticket, you going? Are you getting a ticket? How you got a ticket? Have you got your UEFA thing? I like the old West Ham tune at Upton Park. Yeah, we hear that. Yeah, indeed. I play that. Thing is, Dave, I play that every game. Every game we win. So we play like Bubbles, Tristan Shout, Sweet Caroline, and after that we do play West Ham United. It's called, and everyone's buggered off by them. But the thing is, if we don't play Sweet Caroline, I'll be, basically coming. So yeah, no, it's a good old tune. Really fat. It's really old fashioned. Here we are, we sing the voices that we bring. Yeah, exactly. Those were the days, indeed. West Ham is the name, and football is the game. Brilliant. Well, great, fantastic. Any news on the fan zone for the final yet? No details that I know of. I know the Prague one is well underway. So if you go to Prague, there is going to be I don't know, 10,000 something like that stadium. 10,000 fan park, 15,000 fan park. I don't know about what happens with anything else, but I don't know what happens with any plans for anything here. But I know the Prague one is well underway. a few DJs and whatnot. So anyway, hi Dave, have you well? Hey Russ, do you know what strips each team will play? I think we're gonna be in the white strip, white and orange strip. Technically, we are the away side. Fiorentina are the home side. They're playing purple, so I think the black and purple is too dark. There's too many dark colours. And I think claret and purple sort of in the same ballpark. So I think it will be the white and orange, unfortunately. But and that's the trouble, isn't it? Because that's going to be the pictures, isn't it? If when we win the Europa Conference League, the pictures in the next 30, 40 years, obviously the last time we won, European Cup is black and white. But now we'll be doing the next 30, 40 years time. We'll be looking at the stuff again. And it's like, Jesus, orange. What was going on with that? Paqueta is becoming a world-class player indeed. Damn, the away said, when was this that decided? Right at the beginning of the tournament, wasn't it? I think, in terms of the path, how it all works, I think, something like that. How do you get your hands on it? I have no idea. I imagine you'll probably end up being available via UEFA website, maybe. I don't know. Advertising on the internet wanting nearly 3,000 for a package deal for the final. Outrageous, it certainly is. Did Ziyech break his nose and continue to play? I don't think he broke it. I think he gave it a good old bang. Imagine if they changed into the claret and blue. Yeah, I mean that would be amazing, wouldn't it? And change, or at least have like a claret and blue. Even like those old fashioned zip ups. Something like that. But that'd be a nice thing to talk about. That'd be nice to dissect once it's happened, isn't it? Yeah, it's not. We did wear white. It did, but even the white kit has that synonymous. It probably does now because it was obviously the FA Cup. You're right. That was in colour. But you're playing. I suppose you're playing Arsenal. You think Arsenal would have been? They played in the yellow kit, didn't they? Did they play in the yellow kit? I think. So surely it would have been actually claret and blue would have been better, wouldn't it, than the white? Had like one of those Nelson Mandela moments? I don't see. Anyway, let me know. So anyway, what we're gonna do the day after the night before, we always do the player ratings. So I give you claret and orange, lovely. So I'll give you my views, give you your views, and never the twain shall meet. So let's start. Maybe an omen. We won in a white kit, but no orange though. Lightning strikes twice. Well, it does if you look at the picture because the kicks. It looks like lightning striking the bottom as well. Heard a stat that Paqueta is the only Brazilian out of all three. It's not actually Paqueta. It would be Emerson, if he wins the Europa Conference, would be the first player to have won all three titles. So he's won the Champions League, he's won the Europa League, and he would have won the Conference League. I have a feeling the Dec will lift the trophy like no other. I couldn't care if the players wore boxes or bin bags as long as we win that trophy. Indeed. Anyway, orange is a new black. Very good. So let's start with Lucas Fabianski, shall we? Obviously, the team came out. We were reasonably happy with the team. I was a bit surprised about the team selection. I thought we wouldn't go as strong, but we did. I don't expect a strong side next week with Wednesday. I expect maybe a little bit of rotation, and I expect maybe all 5 subs being used, giving people just a bit of time in their legs. Because I mean, if they don't play at the Leicester game, then they won't play again for. So say they don't play again for the Leicester game, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17 days until from today until next the conference final. So even if they played a strong side against Leicester or strongest starting 11 and then then took off the main Zumas and Agads and Antonios and the people who are maybe a little bit more susceptible, and then maybe rested a couple as well, then that they've still got a week, still got 10 days after that. So it's gonna be interesting what happens with that. Anyway, let's talk about Fabianski. Obviously didn't feature against AZ Alkmaar. Good save early on. Well hit shot from Jack Harrison. I like Jack Harrison. He's a good player. I think we should nab him. Maybe I'll do a show about who we can nab the relegated or potential relegated teams. But obviously, couldn't do much about Rodrigo's opener. I thought 1 or 2 saves further on. Yeah, didn't trouble. I mean, to be honest, they didn't trouble us much. Let's be honest, they really didn't. But there you go. Everyone's saying how good bench is, but they only had 1 goalkeeper. There you go. They haven't got Areola and Joseph Anang. I think Davy Means playing in the finals this year. Yeah. Well, I suppose but then Emerson's played in all 3 finals as well. Because he's won 2 of them. 7, 6 flat-footed at the start. 7. I thought, to be honest, actually about that, James, I thought sometimes he looked a little bit indecisive, particularly in the second half when they did go through. He would go out and he'd stop, and then he sort of left himself in no man's land a little bit. So that's just my opinion. 7, 8. I've heard there's a friendly game arranged. I imagine they probably would do a behind closed doors just to keep maybe that midweek, just to get a bit of freshness. Because what about Fiorentina? Let me have a quick look. Let me look at Fiorentina's. They drew 1-1 with Torino yesterday, didn't they? Came back from 1-0 up. So their last game of the season is going to be. See, they play on the 4th, Sunday the 4th. So they've got the Coppa Italia final on Wednesday. That's a small turnaround, Sunday, Wednesday. Then they're playing Roma at home on the Saturday. Then they've got potentially, it looks like they've got Sassuolo away on the 4th. Then they play us on the 7th. Oh, Rusty B, that sounds like a little bit of a video there. If it's true, yeah, I do believe he might do, because he featured in it. How exciting would midfield Fornals, Paqueta, Bowen be next season? Need a decent left back indeed. 7, 8, apart from the goal. We surely have an agreement with this side to go easy on us. Well, I think it's like the players as well, isn't it? They'll have that last week. There'll be no sliding tackles. That's sort of part of the course in terms of training. They have a game 3 days before the final in Deal, with some confidence. I actually gave him, and this is a bit of a match score, I think, today. I actually gave him a 6, because I thought he wasn't at the fault of the goal, but I just thought he was a little bit flat-footed a little bit. So yesterday, so yeah, and I like Fab. But anyway, let's talk about Emerson. Now Emerson got a chance ahead of Aaron Crespo, who's sort of been the Europa Conference League sort of starter last few games. And I thought there was what I like of Emerson, he's always on the front foot, and I love that, particularly from a defensive perspective. If your defenders are on the front foot, it moves everyone forward a little bit. I thought he linked up really well with Fornals as well. And again, from left back, he had quite a few shots on target really as well coming into the box. Maybe could have done better for the actual goal. I think him, Fornals and Ogbonna were a little bit guilty in terms of the, in essence, a long throw. But, he did a really good block against Somerville, which kept it to 2-2. And I thought he played really well. I like Emerson. He's sort of like, for me, he's like a better version of what's it called? Arthur Masuaku. Do you know what I mean? Arthur Masuaku, when he was good, he was very good because he brought the ball forward and, didn't really. I don't think Emerson offers loads from a defensive perspective, but I think from a forward perspective, I think that's great, and that's what we need. That's really what we need. Oh, she's on. Okay, let's have a look. Best game for us: 8, 6, 8, 8, 7. Oi, Steve, hope you're my friend. Nice to see you. 8 forwards, 5 backwards. I actually gave him a 7. I gave him a 7. Let's crack on like Donkey Kong. Let's go and talk about Ogbonna. Let's talk about Oggy. So for Bonner, I mean, obviously, he was recalled as one of the players who came through the Brentford game. You know, he was probably one of the best. Him and probably Mbama, probably the best two for that Brentford game. I thought strong in defence, number of really good blocks, interceptions, clearances. Maybe again could have done better with tracking Rodrigo because then he was the forward and he was the central defender. But really good in the second half, I thought. Particularly again with a different centre back pairing, obviously with Zuma going off. Although there was no fears about any injuries with Zuma, apparently that was pre-planned. He was going to play 45 minutes, which begs the question why. Surely you'd have just played Kira from the start. But anyway, but yeah, that was it really. I thought he just had a good game, a really good game. I thought, not exceptional, but yeah, good game. 7-7. What's Mr. Mason? Let the players have a few days on the piss, including well indulging themselves in the red light using credit card, proper old school approach. Yeah, exactly. And they all get crabs before the starting of the year. Indeed, good save. 7-7. Hippo threw down his chewing gum. We went 3-1. Did you see about when he had the fiver and it like fell out? I thought it was quite funny. 8-8. The old master just the ball through. Can't play next week. No. I mean, I gave him a 7. I thought he played well. I thought he played really well. Let's move on. Let's talk about Zuma. Zuma obviously came for half. He played the first half, really. What have I said about him? Obviously, he was the only one on the back four to start against Alkmaar, which did surprise me a little bit. I thought he might be again as the one, but actually, I think Moyes made the right call and didn't play. If you play Ogbonna, don't play Aged. Don't play him because every crap game Aged has had has been playing on the right hand side of the back two because they've had to accommodate Ogbonna. So actually play a right-footed player. So if it is Zuma, if it is Kira, do that. You know, Oggy or Aged on the left-hand side, Zuma or Kira on the right-hand side. You've got your 4 centre-backs. If, God forbid, anything happened, then as a last resort, but don't necessarily have to do that all the time. Anyway, yeah, solids. There was one bit where he sort of misplaced the ball and he let them in, didn't he? But they sort of didn't manage to do anything on there. And I think it's Rodrigo, I think. Rodrigo. Then he put it through to Nyota, who I think is a great player. I think we should get him. Jack Harrison, they both sort of fluffed their lines a little bit. And obviously half time was replaced. So, you know, he played all right. I thought. Thank God he came off 6-6. Should have played yesterday, only a 6 right to do so. Take him off. 6-5-6. Russie B gave him a 6 as well. As you said, half time. Can't really give him any more than a 6, surely, when you only play half time. Note didn't go off injured, lads. Just went, just was there just for a, apparently it's all pre-planned. Let's talk about Vlad, eh? Let's talk about Vlad, baby. Let's talk about you and me. So with Vlad, let's talk about him. Obviously in the starting line, I was a little surprised he didn't start last week. She put in that. So I'm just checking someone on the old Ring doorbell putting a package through. She's very good, actually. I'm just checking she's put it through the window. Looks like it. Yeah, because I can hear the dog. Yep, she did. So he was in the starting lineup. I thought he was surprising he didn't feature against Alkmaar because I thought the way Moyes was talking, he was going to start. But he's been out for the last 4 games. His hamstring injury. Obviously, he had a bit of a battle with Jack Harrison, which was good. He largely came up on top, which was good indeed. Obviously, with Sifa, you get the long throws as well. And Zuma did a flick on and was inches away from, I think it was Bowen or Ings. I think it was Ings actually in the first half. Good solid game. Got 1 or 2 crosses in, and yeah, that was good. That was good. Russ thought you were doing the naked. I did it, but he'd all left. I did it. Sorry, man. I didn't record it. Oh, and I can't go back in there because we don't own. We're not, tenants of the stadium now until August. Sorry, Steve. Just check out my OnlyFans. It'll be on there. 7 6 7 7 6 7 from Dave tells the unexpected. I gave Mr. Sufal a 7. God rest his soul, Len Goodman. West Ham fan as well. Let's talk about Tommy Soucek. He's the only player to have started in the last 4 games. That's fair play, to him, because I think he gets a load of stick, we know, but he's starting in all 4, in all 4 of those games. I thought physically, again, what you get with Tommy is he puts his body on the line. He's got his size and strength. And he's often in the thick of it. Often in the thick of it, indeed. And particularly in the second half, using that sort of physicality, he did get things in that he got his body in the way. He blocked shots. He blocked runners, and it stopped Leeds going forward. And actually, some of his passing was really good, I thought, yesterday. I don't think he lost the ball too often, and it wasn't all backwards passing. He nearly scored on both halves. I think he had a shot in the first half from a corner, and then he nodded the corner, or Rubels nodded tipped it over the bar in the second half. But do you know what? He's been, I think, the last those 4 games at least, he's been bloody consistent. And I think it's one of those people that I think, honestly, genuinely, if we took him out the side, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And people say, what about Fornals? But I think with Fornals is so bundle of energy. He just wants to get involved in everything. But Soucek sort of sits there, very calming presence, and he just sits there, just gets involved when he wants to. But he's usually there as a blocker. And to be honest, that's what he was originally before he came to us. He didn't become this box to box, getting on the end of things and breaking through, midfielder that he did in the first sort of 18 months of his time at West Ham. And I think we're seeing a different Thomas Soucek, and I think actually it works, and it really complements Paqueta and Declan Rice. I really think it does. Imagine Vlado getting the winner and dancing around like a fan behind board. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? 8-6 did what he did. His stats are improving indeed. 8 pass the ball forward, +1. 8-7 his face. He's our player. So many interceptions indeed. 6 is a battering ram. He's getting clattered but carries on. Not a typical Nancy boy. Gets stuck in. You're totally right, Dave. I'll give Soucek's daughter 7.5 for eating a booger. Fair play. It's written that Soucek heads the winner. Yeah. I mean, it was sort of written that, written in the stars about the whole Fornals thing for the semis, and you could just see Soucek getting the winner. Dec'S scoring in Soucek or something like that. It'd be great if Vlad scored. It'd be amazing. I gave Soucek a 7. And maybe it's a bit harsh, but I gave him a 7. Next up, let's talk about, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name's Declan Rice. He played yesterday. Obviously, I'm going to do a show tomorrow about where do you go, my lovely. But if Declan Rice does go, who, realistically, who does he go to? And I think, it's a huge, nothing's written in the stars about him going yet. Although we sort of know that it's, I've said it's about 70-30. And that's just not me knowing anything at all. But he's just the feeling you get when you see him. And I know we're all body language experts now, aren't we? He scratched his head, so he's thinking about it. No, he's just got an itch, all these types of things. And obviously, potentially, yesterday could have been, as I said on the thumbnail, the last dance, affectionately for West at London Stadium. Obviously, he got the Ham of the Year award, so that's 3 times he's picked it up. I think only Billy Bonds and Bobby Moore and Brooklyn. I think it's literally was it Billy Bonds and Trevor Brooklyn have won it more, or something ridiculous like that. Considering he's 22 as well, 24 rather. That's a fucking amazing. And also, the couple of years he didn't win, he was runner up. So he's been featured in the last. Although they don't do runners up anymore now, it seems. So. Anyway, he got his 5th goal of the season. Highest goals tally, I think it is, from this season, for a season. Antonio's the same. Antonio's scored more goals this season than he scored in his West Ham career in a season-by-season thing anyway, as well. Could have got more as well. Great finish, he did it, and it was a skillful finish, did the thing, hit it down, didn't take it on the volley, full volley, because he probably would have not scored that, but doing it down, and he had to react really quickly. Could have got. It seemed everyone was trying to put things on a plate for him to score a little bit. And as I said, he could have got hat trick. Could have got hat trick yesterday. Let's be honest. And we'd have loved it. And then when you see, like, you know, he did little pirouettes and stuff, and yeah, he. I mean, to be honest, the three of them ran the midfield, and it was won by that midfield. Sell him. He's rubbish. One more year, Declan Rice. Was it 10? I think they got to 10, didn't they? 10 more years. Outstanding 9, solid 8. I was resigned to him leaving, but the last couple of games, I think he's serious considering at least one more year. I think Gary, that's where my 30% is. Maybe well, Gal. Nice to see you on. That's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. As I said, I've done it. I'm literally going to record it tonight and put it out tomorrow morning, because there's still things. He's still got unresolved business at West Ham. And in terms of leaving, it's a huge decision for him and a huge decision for his family. And it's got to be you can't judge, you can't pick everything. Yeah, it's going to be 100%, the right decision, because it might not be. But he's got to be as much in favour of it being a positive than a negative, if that makes sense, in terms of pros and cons. And realistically, I think there's only 2 clubs he can go to in the world. And one is in the UK, one is in England, and then one is obviously abroad. And, if you took that abroad one out, there's only one team I think he could actually go to, which would tick every box for him. But I don't think he'd get. I don't think at the moment, based on what's been discussed within that side, I don't think they will give him. I don't think he would walk in as a first teamer. He would be competing for the jersey with somebody they could offer a new contract to, hopefully. So, I'm saying hopefully, because I think so. I'm thinking one more year. I'm thinking the only team he can generate is, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing with City. The only and he would replace Ilkay Gundogan, but there we go, negotiating a new contract. And like the place he wants to go, Gundogan wants to go to Barcelona. Barcelona can't afford him. Look at all the shit last time about it. With Koundé and Christensen and Gabby, they get to change his contract. I wouldn't go somewhere like that at the moment, because it's so unsettled. So Gundogan probably makes more sense staying for at least another season. He wants a 2-year deal. They offered him a 1-year deal, but they're going to offer him a 1+1 like they did with Fabianski. So if that's the case, then Rice comes in, and he needs to upset the apple cart, and he might enjoy that challenge. But actually, if you're spending 120 million pounds on a player, you want them starting. You want them to fill a void. It's like when Haaland came in; they knew exactly where he was going to fill. We'll get rid of Gabriel. We'll move Sterling on. That's your role. They're not going to move anyone on just yet. 10, gentleman's agreement being the club that he can leave in the summer, according to Sky Sports. We'll see in it. We'll see. 10, 9, 8, 9, 9. We'll go to a club. It doesn't see it. Bets indeed. Hello, hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you, Simon. Sky Sports, they make it up as they go along. 9. Yeah, because he knocked him in the face. Rumors guitar bit. We'll talk about that later on at Hammer's headline. Saw a vid where he hit a fan, kicked the ball. He did. He did. He felt so sorry. Walks into any other side in London. Yep. Vinicius Jr. to West Ham. Could you imagine? Yeah, we do a swap deal with Real Madrid. Won't be as loved as West Ham. I think he could be. Look how Craig Dawson is just as loved by Wolves fans as he is by West Ham. It's the person. It's not the player. It's the person that is the player. You know what I mean? So Dawson has that work ethic, and it just resonates with people, and it works. Declan Rice will go into any side, and yes, an event, and might not love him to start off with, but they'll be like, oh, you spent all this money for this player. They'll appreciate him. They will appreciate him, but it'll take time. Anyway, I don't think so about Newcastle. Russie B gave him an 8, maybe a bit harsh, maybe a 9, but I gave him an 8. Could have scored another goal, I'll be honest. But let's talk about Lucas Paqueta. I had to do the show about him this morning, raving about him. Obviously, he made no changes to that midfield 3 for the Alkmaar game, which I thought was a bit of a surprise, but actually paid off, and fair play. And actually, I think Paqueta's first goal he scored against us was in January against Leeds. I want to say, was it Leeds? Something like that. Anyway, there's no doubt since probably January. Oh my god, my leg hurts. There's no doubt since January, he has just come on leaps and bounds. And that midfield three is settled as a midfield three at the moment. Obviously, till the end of the season, we'll see what happens. And yesterday just showed his class. I thought yesterday was arguably his best game for us he's played. Should have scored, really. Their keeper made a good save. He did the rollovers, the roulettes, the flicks, the tricks. He did them all, and we loved it. We loved it. We ate it all up. And what I think now is the difference between now and maybe the beginning of the year, beginning of the season, is he knows when to do them. And people are now switched on to him doing these flicks and tricks and knows what he could do. Obviously, he got the assist from Lanzini, which again shows technical ability, but also physicality, because he bundled bundled his way through the first challenge, like physically, and then there was the skill level to sort of make a few people go on lollipops and flick it back to him. And also he should have, he put Ings through. I think Ings should have done a bit better. And yeah, I mean, a goal, assist, a number of good corners, plenty of running. He ran the show. I think he ran the show. Let's have a look here. What we got. Paqueta was my man of the match. 10, 10, 8. Is it true? I believe so, Ludders. I believe so. He does. 9, 9, 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Unplayable. 10. Running late. Rice a 9. A 9 will build a great partnership with the other 9. Paqueta 9. New Canio, new Arnie, or maybe even the new Payet. Can we beat up the vultures for lots of Pac-Man? And I think this year we can, because I think Rice will. If Rice goes, I think we cannot. We won't get rid of another one, if that makes sense. So I think so. Can we keep holding? Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think this year has been his sort of introduction. I think next year, a full pre-season behind him, you're going to see the player we bought. And January we might have to worry about it, and then next summer we might have to worry about it. But we see who we bring in. We'll see that if he's happy, and for me, he seems one of those players who just seems like there was a a clip. I think it was a Man United game last week, and he put all his stuff up on Instagram, and he's like, "Oh, I was at my home with my family," or something like that. And these kids on the thing, and yeah. And if anyone's been on Twitter, Mrs. Paqueta must be a happy lady. That's all I'm just saying. If you know, you know. That's all I say. If you know, you know. Paqueta, for some reason I've got the slide in, but Paqueta was my man of the match. I gave him a 9 out of 10.
Catch that. Could you try again?
No, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, sorry. Right, okay, let's quickly zoom through these because I need to go in a minute. Let's talk about Jared Bowen. Much better. This second half of the season, since January on, after the World Cup, he's been almost getting back to the player that we want to see. He obviously not necessarily his best against Outmire, a relatively poor game in it for his high standards, but he made up for it yesterday for sure. His link up with Fornals was fantastic. Obviously met by the little dink cross the back post, which Rice scored, so an assist there, slotted it in for the 2-1, which was a great goal. When you look at it, he was, maybe a little bit fortunate. The keeper didn't get enough. The keeper didn't get too much on it, but it was a great goal, that's for sure. And I thought, again, a similar to, he had a goal, he had an assist, good corners, direct running. I just thought it was fantastic. I just thought it was really, really good, man. Really, and he's just getting there, innit? And I did play Bowie's on fire, and so yeah. And Danny was there, bless her. We could be owned. We'll talk about that at 5:00 tonight. Lovely bit when his child scored a good goal. Indeed, in Paqueta, he's someone you can track quality plays. You're totally right. 8, 8, 8, 7, better than on Thursday. Not Bowen last year, though. 7. Big Bows of 7. Grew into it, indeed. 8, 7, 8. Russie B gave him an 8. Gave him an 8. A couple more players. Let's talk about Pablo. Great to see Pablo back in the starting lineup. Obviously, got a great round of applause when he was announced, when Martin announced him in the starting lineup, as you would imagine. Obviously, it was a big. That goal. When he had that the other game, he just looked really depressed. That was it, Bournemouth. I can't remember. He just didn't look right. And then that goal was literally giving this sort of massive energy boost. And, he was, the first goal, the give and go with Bowen for the first goal was great. He was through. Paqueta put him through in the first half. Should have probably done better with them. Lots of key passes, great runs, tracked, grafted, really good display. And this was the performance I wanted him to put in at the right time. If he plays at Leicester, another big game at Leicester, what's to mean he can't make that starting 11 for the World Cup for the final, the conference final? For me, that left side is up for grabs. It genuinely is, because for what Benrahma gives in terms of skill and things, he doesn't, and Moisey will want to keep it relatively tight to start off with that Fiorentina game. Personally, I would, just for Fornals' energy, he's got another. He'll probably play a fair bit against Leicester. That to me is crucial, because I think he could make the final side. Generally think he could, just with his attitude. Moisey talks about his attitude as well. The players love him, and I think what he could bring. And again, he could easily win. We talk about Ziyech scoring the winner. He could win it again. 8. Well, kids, I know. I played it. If our players get done by protective values, we'll always get done for bribing officials. Yeah, well, with a fiver. Jesus, what do you expect to get for a fiver? 8 was everywhere. An 8 for me. Current favourite player. 8. Play players in right positions, you get better. Indeed. 8. Fornals is massive. Well, he's quite small. 9. It was all down to Moyes being inept at team and man management. Still love seeing reaction. Thank you. I'm a meme now, apparently. I've got a GIF and everything. 8. I gave Fornals. I gave him a 7. God, I feel harsh. I'll put that to an 8. Let's talk about Danny Ings. Obviously, Danny, second straight start in the Premier League. Obviously, he started against Brentford. It's been a tough time for Danny, I think. And obviously, he had one ruled out in midweek. One of the goals, and he got out of that. Now, I think it's safe to say with Danny, his biggest issue this year has been obviously his link-up play and attack, and then trying to then lead from the front line. Single-handedly, and obviously someone like Antonio, that's his maison d'etre. I'm definitely said that wrong, but that's his MO, isn't it? That's what he does. But I thought yesterday, if anyone on the side I wanted to score, I wanted Dec to score, and obviously Lanzini if he came on, but I really wanted Danny Ings deserved a goal yesterday. I thought I thought he did everything apart from score a goal yesterday. I thought he was excellent in terms of, he ran well. He dropped deep. It was some really nice passing. He was unlucky. I think the ball got a little bit under his feet for when Bowen put him through. But he set him up with that little dink pass. I thought he was really good. I thought it was actually probably best performance for us since signing for us. But anyway, I thought he was, and it was real, because we know what a good player he is when you play him in the right positions. And actually, he made the best of a bad situation yesterday, I thought. 7, 7, 7, 7, being a massive critic. But would he suit us? But he would suit us. He made it a little humble pie yesterday. Ings worked hard, could have scored, doesn't run the lines enough. Well, he doesn't for that role. That's the trouble, isn't it? And that's not his role. That's the trouble. Do you feel better minus? Oh, do you know what? I needed it, mate. After a while, I don't know if any other beard sufferers here, you get little ingrown hairs, and it really, really irritating me. And also when I'm going to on holiday, I don't think I mentioned I'm going on holiday Thursday. It's like 40 odd degrees out there, and I melt anyway. But if I have a beard as well, it's all going to get hot. So yeah, I might actually even do a quick shave up again on the hair, but I'm worried that I'll get sunburn. 45 minutes late, great player, but not for us. I think it would be him and Skarmaki would be amazing. Well, him and Mbama would be amazing. I'd love to see him try that at Leicester. Couldn't they? Could try it. Why not? 7-7. Best performance, I agree. Crest score a winner, make up for last season. Best game for us, not isolated. Had more support, 7 indeed. Thought Leeds. And I wonder if that support was the fact that Fornals was playing. Just throwing it out there, maybe. Just because he has a bit more of that, more central, because he was more central, and then you've got Emerson sort of cutting in. But then when Ings drifted out, Ings got a lovely touch, a really nice touch, and he's very creative for a midfielder, for a forward rather. Russie B gave Danny Ings a 7. Right, let's quickly just go through just a couple of the subs. Obviously, Tilo Kira came on for half time. Obviously, Sufal started ahead of him at the right back. He started on the bench, came on for Zuma. Apparently, again, that was all pre-planned. I thought he was solid, did well, kept Leeds at bay. We're just going to zoom through these. Don't worry about putting the ratings in. I mean, I gave him a 6 for that. And then obviously Manu, well, actually Ben Johnson came on as well, but obviously Manu came on. And, for what will be his, he's more likely to go than Declan Rice in terms of, percentages. Came on for the last 7 minutes, turned out to be the last 17 because there was 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes, and then there was 7 minutes injury time. Obviously, great reception. And his first Premier League goal of the season as well, which was nice. And everyone, you saw, I don't know if you saw it, but Bonner ran the whole length of the pitch to give him a hug. So that was lovely to see. And the end of probably he's been here for a long time, Manu has, isn't he? And obviously injuries blighted him in terms of his career at West Ham. But, and then maybe when he came back, I've always said with Manu that he was better when he had good technical players around him. He was best when obviously Pyatt was there. I'd suggest him and Pyatt would work well. Then he was injured when he came back. Pyatt had left, and he was the diamond in the rough. He was our Argentinian superstar, and I think that pressure doesn't work. And the rest of the team around him were relatively workmanlike. Now, when he's been bled into the side the last few years, last couple of seasons, he's had people like Ben Rama, Paqueta, Bowen, Forno, like more technical players, and I think it works a lot better. I think it works a lot better. What we got? Let's move down a little bit. Genius from Match Day seems to think we'll play final 3 days after. They never did the research. No, you're totally right. Lanzini was a good 7, probably 8. Big shame, great servant. It is not, but actually, Jay, I think I think sometimes it's right to let them go rather than offer them another contract and prolong it. Lanzini, not going to be a start for the first. Obviously, he's Ham of the Year 2017 runner-up. He's been here since 2015. And for me, I think you've got a situation where he's not been. I'm not trying to be nasty or anything, but he's coming to the end of his career at West Ham. He's coming to the end of his footballing career. Was he 30 now? So he's only got a few more years. Is he going to be playing first team football at West Ham? No. Is he going to be a starter? No. Could he go back to River Plate and play the next 2, 3 years, 4 years there? Yes, easily, I think. And would him going mean that someone like George Earthy, someone like Freddie Potts, someone like Patrick Kelly, Callum Marshall, could these, is that a spot open for someone of the under 18s, under 23s to move in, or to bring in another, young Argentinian midfielder? Yes. So actually, that makes sense. One of our best signs of money. Wish him well. As a Chelsea fan, would you like to see? Where would you like to see? Well, Villa, I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you tomorrow. Rumours going around as agreed to stay for Spurs. I tell you, if he's agreed to stay for Spurs, I think Alex Crook said it on Talksport. Shows he's got no ambition. You know, Dex said publicly he wants to go and win trophies. You know, the fact is, I think Harry Kane. I mean, the only place I think he'd go to is Man United, and I think the only player they can afford this year is going to be Harry Kane, because they've only got like, it was on Gio when he interviewed the lady from United Stand, who said, based on FFP, we can only spend £100 million in summer or something like that. Who is this new Brazilian we're linked to? If you're talking about Pablo Maia, we've been linked to him for a while from Sao Paulo. We originally spoke to Sao Paulo when we bought Luizao coming in. So, yeah. Anyway, as I said, lots of stuff coming up. Hammer's headlines talk about the Qatari potential takeover, and a couple of guys have been linked with. 9 o'clock, we've got Knowlesy, the soldier from AZ Alkmaar. So check out that. That'll be good fun. And then obviously tomorrow we start all over again, don't we, my friends? So if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. As I said, we had a massive spike over after Thursday in terms of subscribers. So thank you so much. It really is nice when you see like, wow, where have those like 600-700 come up? You know, amazing. So hopefully we can keep you going. And if you'd like to subscribe, if you haven't done, please do. We're on the road to 20,000. It'd be great if we can do it by the time we start the new season. That'd be awesome. And obviously more stuff from Holly, more stuff from Anton throughout the day and throughout the week. If you're new, you can maybe support the channel differently. Hit the join button down there, become a member. There's exclusive content. You get entered into all prize draws and things like that. So, and then more and more of that stuff will be coming up in the next few months. So it's all good. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you bloody irons. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Much love. Bye.